Happy Friday, folks, and welcome to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. And to be perfectly honest, feeling a little chilly. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me as always, Andy. How's it going? I think things are a little warmer where you are.
Well, no, it's not. Oh, I'm indoors, so that's good. But no,
That's true.
It's very cold here. Yeah, at least I'm inside. But yeah, it sucks right now. I'm cold, but it's the weekend. It's payday. Going whiskey shopping. Everything's coming up tail heads for me. So, Jesus, right off the bat. I mean, go ahead, Soccer K. We're at your disposal here. We got a question from the chat immediately. We'll wait for that. But either way, while we're waiting for him to follow up, I don't think he expected me to do that. We would like to thank our sponsor, WynnBET. Make sure to sign up for that. The links are in the YouTube description and the podcast description. If you don't already have an account in Colorado, New Jersey, or Michigan, you can get a big-ass free bet when you sign up. Obviously, you know that already. I've told you. And a sweatshirt if you really want. So someone asks, noticed volume this year is a lot lower than last year on prior years for college basketball. Is that due to COVID? Yeah. There's a lot of canceled games. In fact, there's games I've bet that have been canceled. That sucks too. So I probably am going a little lower on volume. There's games where things are matching up and I'm forced not to play them because it's like, do I really want to play Canisius or, somebody right now off this massive layoff? Like there's times where I have to say I can't play this because they just took 2 weeks off, or in their case, like a bunch. So there's a little bit of goofiness to every sport right now. So yeah, the volume is a little lower. I have a few today though, so we'll get into those later. But probably start with the association, as is customary.
As is customary, and as is customary in the association, we've got a handful of totals, and to the surprise of no one, none of them are overs. We do have one underdog. We'll start there. The Pistons of Detroit are playing Boston tonight. Boston coming off a big win last night over Toronto. I think this has letdown spot written all over it. On top of that, my numbers make this a lot closer than 8. Actually, to go back through and just double check and make sure everyone in Detroit was playing, and it looks okay to me, and I have this much closer to like 5, probably even less than 5 if I make a few tweaks, frankly. So was able to grab plus 8.5 this morning, like it at plus 8. If it drops down to 7.5, 7, that should still be fine too. So let's go Detroit City.
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit basketball. The Knicks are playing the Wizards tonight. The Wizards will be without Bradley Beal. That just means it's Russell Westbrook and a bunch of nobodies with Davis Bertans. The Knicks continue to struggle to score points. This just has all the makings of an under to me. I have this closer to 215 myself. So I would stop probably at 219. If there's a 218.5, that might be okay. But expecting a very slow, ugly game of basketball tonight. Don't watch this one. We always joke about not watching. I really mean it. Don't watch this. Nothing good's going to happen. It's not going to be interesting. Just kind of watch the score there and hope that it's low. And, maybe we won't lose this one by a basket like we keep doing the last couple days.
Yeah, that's never fun. End of game scenarios are a little sketchy sometimes. Less so in the association, but it still happens. So,
not only did the Sixers lose last night,
just good vibes. Good vibes.
Basket. Atlanta, San Antonio. Atlanta has just been a dead nuts under team this year, and I expect this to continue. I make this total closer to 223.5. So drawing the line probably here right at 227. I wouldn't play this much lower than that. Just again, as I start to look at this, I look at some of the performances here. If you just blindly bet Atlanta unders this year, you're up 5 units. San Antonio is similar, a little less, closer to up 2 units there. But again, 2 under teams. My numbers are screaming under here. When I start to look at the matchups here, San Antonio's got a lot of guards to put in front of Trae Young to slow him down. Conversely, the Hawks have been a solid defensive team, and Collins will probably be able to clean up everything that's going there. So we'll have an under in Atlanta, San Antonio. And then finally, this is one of the later games tonight. Memphis is playing Los Angeles. The Lakers look to be without Anthony Davis here. When they are without Anthony Davis, what you tend to see from them is a much slower pace. The offensive efficiency goes down. Memphis, despite how quick Ja Morant looks on the floor, is one of the slower teams. And I think when he was out, we saw that pace start to tick up, and it's now coming back down. And I don't think the market's quite caught up yet on some of these Memphis totals. So grab an under 220 here. This is one of the bigger edges that I had today. I have this closer to like 214. So I would play this at 219, 218 and a half, maybe even 218. So still some room there. And these all are all on the move just a little bit. But this one I think is actually probably the cleanest of the bunch.
Gotcha. Yeah, it'll be fun to actually maybe stay up and watch one of these games. Like I said, I didn't have any basketball. I did end up playing a little on Rob's pick. Our guest yesterday from Rob had Purdue plus 3.5, which honestly, Minnesota probably had no business winning that game, much less covering the late numbers. Like that was some wild end of game stuff there. There was some questionable calls and some weird fouling. So Purdue lost by 3. If you got the hook, you got to win there. But somebody put me on some totals, and I ended up betting like the UCLA over. And then I looked, I'm like, this game starts at 10 o'clock. There's just zero chance I'm even going to see the beginning of this. So today is going to be the exact opposite of that. I bet on a game, and I don't usually check game times until like I'm looking into, maybe is there something goofy going on here? But I played the IUPUI Jaguars. And that game starts, let me look, 11 a.m. Central. So literally in 24 minutes from when I'm saying that right now. This is going to be a bad one. The joke about not watching these games. You can watch this one because if you really want to watch a game at 11 in the morning and you don't want to work on a Friday, this would be a good one to it. But these are the 2 worst teams in the Horizon League. They're bad. I mean, Robert Morris is pretty bad too, but IUPUI and Fort Wayne, not great. I think they're the worst 2 offenses in the league, but IUPUI actually can play a little defense. So I don't mind taking the points at home in an early game here. Give me the underdog. I don't know what IUPUI stands for. Indiana University of Purdue at University of Indiana. Something
I can't remember. I can't remember if it's Purdue. It might be Pennsylvania, actually. I thought it was Indiana University, Pennsylvania University at Indiana, or there's some version of that. But you're right. It might be Purdue.
Yeah,
I can't remember if that's the one. I think my cousin might have actually gone there. I should probably know this.
Somebody in the comments might look into that. So America East, is that the next one? No, Youngstown State. This is an afternoon game too. I'm gonna lay the 5 here. This might be out to 6 in a couple places. I don't know if I'd go much past that, but yeah, this is on the move. This is another one where, again, it's not a good team I'm backing, but they seem to take care of the ball a little better than their opponent, and their opponent is pretty bad too. This is the Purdue Fort Wayne. I mentioned Purdue Fort Wayne. This is all Horizon League. So IUPUI plays Illinois Chicago. Purdue Fort Wayne is the opponent for Youngstown State. So I guess I'm just covering the whole Horizon League today. Youngstown, again, not a great team. Their offense is a little shisty at times, but they do not turn the ball over. They take care of the ball. They're actually decent in a few other things I track. So I'm laying it here. I don't lay points a lot, but I'm doing it twice today. So bless up for me. Fort Wayne is this year's new favorite team. Fade Fort Wayne. Yeah. The Mastodons. So really cool mascot as far as I can tell. Speaking of cool mascots, Albany, I think it's like the Great Danes. I'm going to look that one up right now, but Albany -3 in the America East. They're playing UMass Lowell, which is another team I guess they're similarly ranked, but I have Albany ahead in a few things, basically everywhere. They have a decent offense, to tell you the truth. It's hard to handicap some of these smaller schools and these small ones, but I mean, this is the conference where you just see Vermont in the tournament every year. Like it's actually this is the conference that gave us University of Maryland, Baltimore County, which is the team that upset Virginia in the 1 seed that one year. So normally Vermont, but I have Albany as a mid-range team. Lowell is right there too, but there's a few things I'm ready to fade UMass Lowell. So laying 3 there, I wouldn't go much past that. And UMass Lowell can shoot the 3 ball, which might end up killing me, but in the long run, I will take this 3 more often than not.
And you were correct. I looked it up. It's Indiana University, Purdue University, Indiana.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Why? Give it its own name. They really need to co-own a university.
And to be fair, UCLA did go over last night, so that was fun. I woke up to a winner. Did you wake up to any winners, or did you stay up watch tennis?
Uh, no, I did not stay up and watch tennis last night. I can't remember. I woke up to some winners. I woke up to some losers. I've been Mr. 500 lately. I've actually kind of been weirded out. I went back earlier and looked at some of my results. I've had an unreal run of going 500 in days where I make an even number of picks. So hopefully that doesn't pan out today with my 4 NBA selections and my 4 tennis selections. We've got, we'll start here with Ekaterina Alexandrova, a pretty big underdog here at plus 250 against Ashley Barty. Ashley Barty, one of the best players in the world. She's in Australia. She has had the advantage of not only the support of the Australians, who will not be there going forward, by the way, based on what happened last night. There'll be no more fans at the Australian Open. So
Barty's going to Zach lose. Morris timeout. Explain why. Like, I don't even know why. They did that right in the middle of a match.
I'm a little fuzzy on it, but essentially the reason it happened during the middle of a match is because the Australian government found out there was some small number of cases, I think more than 4, less than 10 of the UK strain of coronavirus, for lack of a better understanding what that means. Australia has been very tight and very quick to lock down. That's why they've had the least amount of cases, why they can have fans, frankly, not wearing masks in stadiums these last couple of weeks. But the government announced that everything would be locked down at midnight. Midnight happened to be during the middle of a match. So instead of clearing everyone out before or immediately, they let everyone stay until midnight. Our buddy Steve, who joined us to do the Australian Open preview, was actually there. And he said it was pretty funny. He left a little bit early, but yeah, they were actually physically forcing people out. So looks like they'll be on lockdown. Good luck to them. Let's hope they continue to have success with dealing that. But tennis will go on. We just won't have fans. So no home crowd support for Ashley Barty. She had her leg wrapped up the other day, and it hasn't been moving so well. That's one of those things. Injuries are very hard in tennis, unlike NBA, NFL. We have reliable injury reports. I mean, even the NBA is way more reliable injury information than you get from tennis. But just I have this less than plus 200, honestly. Alexandrova is a player with a big serve, a really big game, really fantastic for some of these courts. I mean, the speed here is going to be great for her. So happy to grab the plus 250 and also the plus 4.5 games here. So going to put half a unit on the money line and then a full unit on the plus 4.5 games there. 4 is a pretty key number in tennis. So getting that hook there for regular juice is a pretty big deal to me. I think this will be a close match. Even if Barty wins, it's probably like a 7-5, 6-4 kind of thing. So love having that hook. And I think we have a great chance to get the win here from the Russian underdog, Andy.
Do you think Nick knew that the crowds were going to go? Is that why he bowed out?
It's always hard to tell why Nick
Kyrgios
does what Nick Kyrgios does. We'll see if our buddy King Kyrgios there in the chat has an opinion on that. I bet he does.
I can dig this too, just because this will actually be decent serving. I watched Irani Shea. How do you say that? It's
Shea Su Wei versus Sarah Irani.
I watched a women's tennis match for a little while last night, and they were serving about as fast as like junior high players. It was bad. Like, we've often talked about that. Why don't people just do 2 first serves and just piss rope them? And if you can get your first serve in enough, don't give them the soft second serve. Irani was trying something very unique called 2-second serves, where she was just loping them in. It was basically like, just toss her the ball and just start a rally. These aren't serves. It was bad to watch. So hopefully this Alexandrova match is better. And
did you like Shea's two-handed forehand? I think she's the only two-handed forehand player I've ever seen. And Irani, as much as you're making fun of her, that's an improvement. She was underhand serving last year.
Yeah, and I mean it is injury based, and she's been around for a while, but it was rough. It was a rough watch. It was a tough hang.
Yeah. And good comment here from Cheesy Leaf. He's right. Sabalenka is someone that just fires off 2 first serves. I'm glad that she made that adjustment. Early in her career, she used to hit a really soft second serve. And I think her coach or somebody brought it up and basically just kind of worked it out of her, was like, no, just stand up there and smash the ball twice, because whatever you're doing on second serve is just getting hammered. So I'd rather you double fault a couple times, right?
Yeah.
One more tennis play tonight. Another underdog here, Shelby Rogers. Less of an underdog at plus 140. Should be a very competitive match here against Annette Kontaveit. Annette Kontaveit, one of those players who doesn't necessarily do anything well, but doesn't do anything poorly, if that makes sense. She has a really, she's kind of a B plus at everything. If it was like a Madden rating perspective, she'd have like a nice even number kind of like all the way across.
I do this with golf. You have people that have a wide range of expectations. Like this guy can absolutely get it. And some of it's between the ears where there's guys that can just lose the plot and shoot 10 over. And they can also win the tournament where there's guys it's like, man, this guy's just going to make every cut, but he's never going to top 5. There's different levels of distribution. I get what you're saying with that for sure.
Yeah, and what I'm looking at here is exactly kind of what you're describing. Kontaveit is someone that generally falls apart later in these slams, where Shelby Rogers is just a really mentally solid player. She's a little older on the tour, but she's not quite at the point where she's in the twilight of her career. She's played some nice tennis here in the first Melbourne event. She's had a nice run here so far. I actually have this much closer to a pick'em. I would probably have it like plus 105, plus 110 if I'm being honest, and I was taking bets. And I like her to win this match. So not only am I going to take a money line, if you look over there to the right, you'll see minus 2.5 games at plus 210. That's actually an alternate game spread. So basically what I'm doing here is instead of taking the underdog, I think she's actually plus 2.5 games, which, by the way, if you're betting a women's tennis match, don't ever bet plus 2.5. Just take the money line. It's a complete waste of time. Conversely, though, on the other side, minus 2.5, it's actually kind of similar to football, Andy. I mean, if you're going to bet somebody to win, you might as well bet a minus 2.5 because that's what they're going to win by most of the time anyway. So happy to grab the money line here on Rogers, and then I'll put a half unit there on that alt spread and see if we can make a little more money if she can win in comfortable fashion. Or not even too comfortable. I mean, she could win in 3 sets and still cover that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially if you end up with a tiebreak that she loses. I don't usually do this because it doesn't work out with the timing, and 50% of a golf tournament happens on the weekend. But I did some golf plays. I went 2-1-1 yesterday. I had a push. I had one that was a rock fight. Like they shot 2 and 3 over, but I had the fellow who shot 2 over. So luckily we got that one home. One was a no-doubter. A couple of the full tournament ones are looking decent. Mav McNeely's playing better than I'd hoped, but the people I played against him are playing similarly, so I don't think either of those matchups are going to settle till Sunday. Phil is playing horrid, which is just great. So I am playing – let me find my banner here. A couple of them. Hoffman over Hahn. I'm laying the half stroke, laying it. I have these guys actually fairly similar in my power rankings. I have some pretty bad numbers on Hahn in the wind and a couple other things I don't like about him. I'm not going to go full just like I'm not a wind truther, but I ran my numbers this morning and then I kind of added in, does this person have a decent sample size of rounds played in bad weather, and do they suck at it? Because there's some guys that can't play in the bad weather. Like Varner might struggle today. This is one that can. There's one more that I really want to fade. But Hoffman over Hahn, I bet these at Bookmaker. I think these are just your traditional set that you'll be able to find there and most other places. And then the other one is a guy who played like shit yesterday, and he is somebody who I had possibly looking at a top 10 this week. I didn't end up betting him on the outright, which I'm glad, but he is a one and done for me in a couple leagues. So I need him to get his shit in the get right because he's not looking like he's going to make the cut. I need a big day out of him. I have him ranked highly, so hopefully he will. And then Grace. Grace is a guy, not only do I have a big gap here between these two players, Grace is another one where I have a halfway size sample of him playing poorly in high winds, bad weather. It's going to be a poopy day. And when I said some of these tournament matchups might not settle until Sunday, I guess I mean Monday, because it's looking like the weather might get really gross over the weekend too, as far as they might not have this tournament finished in time. So what's up with the turkey play? Is that TR Turkey? I think he's talking about Pete. Pete tags me and stuff. We have a friend in our tennis chat who will just tag random people he knows to bother them, saying it's consensus play. So there's no goals scored in the first half, but we have 7 shots on goals combined. So you know what? I'm adding it second half. Second half over, Rizespor, Erzurumbibi in the Turkish. It's not even the highest Turkish league. It is the second highest Turkish league. So we are going Rizespor over. They'll probably hang like a really plus number on 1.5. I'll have to look it up right now, but you'll probably have to bet this live. Honestly, if your book has second half numbers for the second highest Turkish soccer league, God bless you. So, and that's I think that's all we have. A heavy picks day. That's my favorite kind of day. Little recap if you want.
Love it. Jam-packed. NBA, Wiz Knicks under. Hawks Spurs under. Memphis Lakers under. Pistons +8. Again, some of these are on the move. Washington Knicks, I would draw the line at 218. Atlanta, San Antonio, I would draw the line at 227. Memphis, LA, you can probably play down to 219, even 218.5. And Pistons +7 or better.
My basketball was Indiana University of Purdue at Indiana. At Indianapolis, +3. That game starts in 13 minutes. Youngstown State a little later in the Horizon League, -5. And Albany around supper time tonight in the America East, -3. A couple tennis matches overnight with the ladies.
Shelby Rogers
Shelby
+140.
Rogers. I couldn't think of her.
Sorry, Shelby Rogers +140, and the alt spread again, -2.5 games. When you look at this, you'll see +2.5. Don't do that. Click on the menu, and most of your websites will have an alt spread. Let me know if you have trouble finding that. I'll let you know where I've seen that. A couple legal books like DraftKings has it. I think Bovada would be the offshore that's probably best for something like that. And then Alexandrova moneyline +250 and +4.5 games. That +4.5 games is just -110, and those should be easy to find just about everywhere.
And my golf, these are, and like I said, the fact that it's West Coast golf means some of these aren't teeing off. Hoffman and Hahn, it looks like they tee off in about 45 minutes. And then Davis and Grace don't tee off until this afternoon Central, which would be like 1:20 Eastern. It looks like their tee time's off. So you have a little time on these as well. And, I think that's it for the week. That's it. Somebody says Fritz, #1 fan. I was hoping I have a Rafa 8-1. Like him being hurt already is good for it, but him losing to Fritz would have been fantastic. I believe Medvedev is now your favorite in the trading. He is in the same half,
absolutely.
So that's a very big match. Although I still need him to beat Rublev. I have a Rublev going out in the quarterfinals ticket. So and
that might end up being the finals. That Rublev Medvedev match might really end up being the decider.
It's going to be a really good match. I'm excited for that one. If you do like women's tennis, tonight is going to be some of the best matches. Alex didn't bet on any of them, but there'll be some very good matches over the next couple of days. And as Redaholics here says in the chat, have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. Thanks to WinBet. Thanks to BetSperts. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to the chat. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Twitter.
Thank you, Andy.
Let's go some goals in Turkey. I found a live over one -139.
Ooh, baby, hold on. Get that out. You finish the show. I'm going to bet that.
All right. Sounds good. Let's hit the music. We'll see you Monday.